Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor Sir Professor Dr. Jayanand, eminent speaker of the day, Dr. Sapna Katyar, Advisor Technology, Impress Technologies. Welcome you, ma'am. Respected Dean Schools of Engineering and Technology, Dr. Tarun Kumar Sharma, respected Dr. Nidhi Tyagi, convener of IIC, respected Dean Directors, faculty members, and my friends, welcome to the session. I would like to request all the dignitaries to the light lamp of the glory. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. Jayanand to welcome our eminent speaker Dr. Sapna Katyar as by presenting the Rudraksh saplings. As the world becomes more and more digital, it's not the first click that counts, it's what happened after the first click. By unification of design thinking with critical thinking, we foster innovation that delivers customer-centric solutions. The main objective of today's workshop is to highlight the concept of design thinking and critical thinking and innovation design. And secondly, to provide social and thinking space for the recognition of innovation challenges and the design of creative solutions. We are sure that this session will prove to be very fruitful for all the participants. First, I would like to request Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor sir for his words of wisdom.
Thank you. Before I start, may I request you all to fill up the gap? Please come from backside. More closer, more attention. Today's workshop is very important for you. That is why it is very necessary to sit in very close premises, close by. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Please settle down. Today's respected speaker, Dr. Sapna, convener of IIC, Dr. Nidhi Tyagi, school head, the dean, Dr. Tarun, faculty members, Dr. Jan, Rajesh Pandeji, Dr. Navneet, Dr. Mahanto, and Mr. Abhinav. And most importantly, my students. Today, you all are going to get the information on design thinking and critical thinking, as well as how it will be applicable for the innovation design. This is very not the new thing, but this kind of workshop is new because earlier we were experiencing, we were practicing the same without having any protocol. Now we have proper protocol and we have how we can design, how we can think the design which can solve the problem and innovate the existing system. Design thinking, as it is very well perceived that design thinking means whatever you are thinking, that will become in the design. And that means if you are thinking, your thinking will be based on what? Your thinking will be based on your experience, your education, your skillful brain, your hands-on capacity, your visualization, everything will be coming in the thinking. If you think properly, automatically the design will be appropriate. And if the design is appropriate, then definitely whatever you have thought to be innovate, that will come in the real picture, and that will solve the problem of masses for which we all are looking for. Correct? So, design thinking. I'm not the expert, but as per my own experience and the expertise and the knowledge, design thinking is abhi kuch din pehle, sometimes before I wanted to submit one manuscript, technical manuscript, that is journal. In some of the journal which is very good, which is having the very good impact factor. आप लोग जानते होंगे जर्नल वो सब अच्छे होते हैं जिनकी इम्पैक्ट फैक्टर अच्छी होती है, सर्कुलेशन अच्छा होता है. Anyway, so it was the condition that abstract should be in pictorial way. हम लोग करते क्या है in general, if you see, 99.9% journals are giving abstract should be the gist of your whole manuscript. But that journal had the compulsion, that journal had the condition for the author that abstract should be pictorial. Means whatever you have thought to do the research and whatever you have researched, whatever you have you got the outcome, result and discussion, that should be displayed in the pictorial mode. It is very difficult because whole manuscript would be reflecting in the particular design. That is difficult. But if you try to just make a story and each story will have the segments and each segment will give you some kind of image, and then after all the image will make your story, and that is the manuscript, isn't it? So that pictorial abstract was created by me. बड़ी प्रॉब्लम कहाँ है? प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पे है कि you cannot take the help of art person. You cannot take the help of the person who is not related to this field. You cannot, because you are the only the person who is going to innovate something, who knows how we have to design. That designing thinking will come from the brain of the innovator, the prime innovator, isn't it? And then after, okay, that's perfect. We have the appropriate design thinking, and because of our own thinking, because of our own knowledge, we have to see, suppose any problem is there, society's problem, we have to first redefine what is the problem in this existing system. Suppose you take the example of this mind. This cannot be extended. That is a problem. Only you can bend like this, but you cannot elongate it. ठीक है? ये भी एक प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है अगर कोई बहुत टॉल आदमी है, चाहे कितना ही ऊपर नीचे कर लो, ठीक है, तो वो उसके मुंह तक नहीं पहुंचेगा. So redefining the problem is the first thing. First, you have to understand what is the problem first. Problem is there. Then after, with your imaginary brain, with your skillful brain, you can design the solution of the existing problem. First, you have to redefine. You define the problem in your words, in your approach. Okay, that is there. Then after, designing is completed. You have defined the problem. Then after you have started the working, then you should know how to characterize everything. Whatever, suppose 5 things are there, all 5 things should be characterized by you. Then you have to make all the characters in a particular shape, and that will call as prototype. Okay, that prototype, it may be possible that prototype may work in form of device, may not work. It may be possible, but you have to make the prototype by your own imaginatory, your skillful brain, your experiences, your knowledge. And then after the testing of the prototype, whether it is working or not, whether it is fulfilling the need, or whether it is solving the problem or not. Okay. And then after you can claim that this is my innovative product. Perfect. So very necessary. This is very you can say disciplined protocol. This is very disciplined protocol. You cannot jump in the prototype without redefining the problem. Okay. So I will not take much time. Actually, Dr. Sapna is waiting for the lecture, and I am not the expert of this film, but I'm very much happy today that you are going to get the or you are going to be enlightened with lot of informations which is going to be given by Dr. Sapna. And try to ask her whatever the problems you have. Oh, sorry, whatever the confusion. Please do not shy. Otherwise, if today you are shying, you are the first year students. If today you are shying, tomorrow you will be in the trouble. So with this, thank you, Dr. Nidhi, for calling me in the inaugural time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. Now it's time for us to hear our guest speaker, Dr. Sapna Katya. I request Ritik to kindly share the brief profile of our speaker. A very good afternoon to all. Dr. Sapna Katya is PhD from Jamia Millia Islamia University, New Delhi, in the area of artificial intelligence. Dr. Sapna has more than 20 years of experience in academics and industry, currently working as advisor with cloud, big data, and data science professions at Impledge Technologies. She has been appointed as and served as Chief Executive Officer for Technology Business Incubator. She had also served as Dean Academics, HOD, and Professor at various prestigious institutions. Her research areas are artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud computing, Internet of Things, and image processing. She has authored 7 books in the area of communication, satellite communication, optical communication, advanced communication systems, telecommunication, and television. Dr. Katia receives Teachers Excellence Award for the number of papers and journals books published by Confederation of Education Excellence. She has received many awards of appreciation from Skill Council of India, Texas Instruments, and Triple Technologies IB Hubs. She is also active member of many professional societies like IEEE, IST, IET, ACM, CSI, and Indian Women Scientists. She has published 5 Indian patents and granted 5 Australian and South African patents. She has published more than 40 papers in index journals, international and national conferences. She is the Board of Studies member at various universities, advisory board member, program committee, member of many international conferences, reviewer, guest editors of many reputed journals. Thank you. Now I welcome Dr. Sapna Katia.
A very good afternoon to one and all. Thank you so much, Rakesh, for such a giving brief introduction. First of all, I would like to convey my thanks, sincere thanks to Dr. Nidhi. She has been very instrumental in setting up all the things about this particular workshop. I would like to thank VP Sir, Professor Dr. Garg, Professor Dr. Jayanand, Dr. Tarun Sharma, Dr. R.K. Jain, their friends, head of the department, faculty members, and myself. See, I'm not going to tell you anything which is very difficult to understand or accept something. Whatever I'm going to talk about in today's session, it is very easy and you can relate it whatever you are doing in your daily life. So I must say that you must listen it very carefully. You can relate everything. You'll be able to understand each and everything. Means after the completion of this session, definitely, I'm very much hopeful that you will be carrying away a lots of things. Means whatever you are doing, you can understand, oh, I'm doing this, means this is coming into this particular category or what. So definitely you are going to learn something. So it's time to focus yourself, right? So I hope you guys are not ready to listen about this particular session. Should I? So first, let's break the ice so that you can be more concentrate about it. You must be listening about various things. You must be observing various images. So now you can think how they actually come into the category of all these, whatever the terms we are talking about. These are nothing but the buzzwords, right? Design thinking, critical thinking, innovation, and all. See, these are very simpler things. So be ready. See this image, read the tagline. What is the very nice? Perfect. Second one. Very good. Very nice. Jewelry, but which brand? See, these are design thinking. Somebody has thought about it, how to develop it, how to serve it. What could be the possible answer? Let us see. All of you are aware. Can you observe something behind this? Means how to create a tagline, how to draw an image which is going to actually impact the users, which is actually going to impact the audience. You have just created something, but if it is not going to impact somebody else, that is what? That is not going to be beneficial. So why to do that? It means each and every picture, each and every tagline, there is a like involvement of so many persons, there is an involvement of so many thoughts, and then only the thing is going to be finalized. So what happened? There is a very famous quote and very useful quote, I must say. If you say, I hear and I forget, it happens. आप सुनते हो भूल जाते हो. I see and I remember. Our visualizations are very good, right? देखकर हम याद तो रखते हैं, but what we understand those things which we used to do. अगर आप खुद से कोई काम करते हैं तो आप उसको याद रखते हैं. So I do and I understand. This must be the practice. Then only you are going to understand the thing. You are going to retain all those things for a lifelong duration. So what's the agenda? I must be telling you what is business thinking, what is design thinking, what is critical thinking, and then the innovation. There are various things, various definitions, something you must have heard about, but what is actually the basic background about it? Business thinking versus design thinking. See, there is a situation, suppose you have developed something without considering into that particular product or something, who is going to use it, whether that particular product is going to beneficial for them or not or something. Means just you have developed it and then you have served it to the audience. What is going to happen? That may be beneficial for few, that may not be beneficial for the others. That is what the thinking does, because you have just developed the thing which came into your mind. But on the alternate side, if you explore what is the requirement of the users, what is actually their requirement, what is actually their demand,
Then first you understand their demands, their requirements, then you develop it, and then you serve it to the users, which is going to be beneficial for them. First one or the second approach? Second. That approach is actually the design. Business thinking is what? You have created something and then you are going to sell it to generate the revenue, right? That is what the business thinking. But explore the audience for whom you are going to develop it. Depending upon that requirement, you have created something and then you are going to see attendance तो बाद में भी मिल जाएगी पर design thinking आज समझ लो. So if you are going to serve depending upon the requirement, that is what the design thinking. It means first you understand, then you formulate a problem, and then you give the solution of that particular problem, right? It means what is the successful business? Just create and supply it. It's not a successful business. Successful business that also require, that also need the incorporation of the design thinking. Are you getting this point? How much important the design thinking is? Means it actually shifted the focus from the business-centric engineering solutions to the customer-centric solutions. Depending upon the customer, for which particular age group product is to be developed, for which geographical reason where the customer is actually residing, is going to be developed, for which particular, like whether it is beneficial for females or for male members, or for the persons who are residing in the urban area, or for the persons who are residing in the rural areas. So accordingly, that particular analysis must be done. Then only it will be a customer-centric or a human-centric or a user-centric. That is what the basis of the design. All of you do. When you have to buy a mobile phone, you do all particular research. What is your budget? In that particular budget, you would like to take each and every features, you explore, you read the reviews, and finally you decide when you are going to take it. So that particular mobile phone that is actually being designed just by analyzing such type of users, what is their like requirement? That mobile phones must be budget friendly. There must be a very good camera, must have a good memory. So accordingly, that is what the concept of the design. So thinking is actually a very controversial term. Thinking. We all think. In 24 hours, suppose we are sleeping for 8 hours of the duration, then in remaining 16 hours, we are continuously thinking. But every time that would not be a meaningful thing. Thinking is just like we are doing as if we are हम सांस ले रहे होते हैं, हम चल रहे होते हैं, we have to do something. So similarly, दिमाग में हमारे कुछ ना कुछ चल रहा है, but whether that is meaningful or not. So this thinking, you cannot say that this is a design. Design thinking means you have to think and finally you have to do something which must be acceptable by everyone, which must be acceptable by many of us, right? And this is not a buzzword only. Fortune 500 companies in India, like many companies, they are using this design thinking concept. Even the Infosys, they have trained their 1 lakhs of the employees for the design thinking by incorporating different courses, different training programs. IBM, Apple, Google, Samsung, these are actually have started using the concepts of the design. And for each and every product, services, whatever the facilities we would like to, everywhere there is the involvement of the design. So this is nothing new. We are doing, companies are doing, others are doing, but we need to understand what is the logic behind it. So if you need to summarize what is design thinking, you can say it is a kind of confidence. Whatever I did by exploring all possible scenarios, whatever depending upon the things we have to inculcate and we have to develop, means first I must be confident that I have developed something which can be fruitful to the others. That is what the design. So it is a kind of actually mindset. The way I think, you may not be thinking in the same manner, other may not be thinking in the exactly same manner. We may think in a different dimension, but our objective is what? Objective is same. Suppose you have to design a project, right? You have to design a project and you have been given a time duration of 2 weeks First, what you are trying to find out, first you have to make your team, then you have to find out the problem which you are going to implement, then about the cost also, what would be the cost of that particular, everything you are doing. So the way the different persons can be doing that must be different, but actually the logic must be same. So here you can say that you can understand it is a kind of mindset actually. So if you need to summarize the design thinking, as I've told you that it is a human centered, empathic. Empathy means you need to empathize the consumers. You need to explore them. You need to discuss with them. You need to engage with them. What they want, what they think, what they demand actually. So design thinking is a human centric. It is collaborative. One cannot do the work in the isolation. There must be teamwork. And even if I thought something, I have an idea, if I have implemented, definitely that may not be acceptable by others. So until unless I'm not discussing, I'm not like doing the brainstorming with the others, that may not be helpful. So it's a collaborative. Optimistic means we must be focused about what we are going to serve to the society, whether it may be in terms of products, services, or something else. And experimental. Obviously, once you have designed something, definitely there must be certain limitations which you would like to overcome in the next edition. Like आप लोगों ने बहुत पुराने फोन्स देखे होंगे जिसमें कैमरास नहीं होते थे, ओनली की बटन फोन. नोकिया के फोन आते थे, नोकिया के फोन में थोड़ा थोड़ा सा वेरिएशन होता था, एक सीरीज आई, अगली आई, अगली आई. दैट इज व्हाट दी इटरेशंस हुए, धीरे धीरे चीजें इंप्रूव हुई, जो फ्लॉज थे, एडिशनल सर्विसेज, एडिशनल फैसिलिटीज हैव बीन गिवन. वो क्या है सारा? दैट इज व्हाट द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ द डिजाइन थिंकिंग, एंड that fall into the category of the innovation. Obviously, somebody has designed the mobile phone which is going to serve the users. So this is experimental, iterative. You cannot find the solution in a single step. There is always the possibility you can refine it, you can test it, you can improve it. So this is about the mindset, and you can understand that there are these four basic terms. So there is a standard definition, need not to learn, I must say, but you must remember that design thinking, this is the integration of the data, technology, and innovation. Means it's a human-centric approach which draws the like designer's toolkit in which the various features have been integrated, which have been visualized by empathize the users, and finally a product has been made. You must understand what is the logic behind, what is the basic about this. So when we are talking about design thinking, since now it is clear to us that design thinking, it is nothing but कोई बहुत बड़ा सा ऐसा नहीं है शब्द which you cannot understand. It is a very simple mechanism. But how to do the design thinking? We are thinking, but is that particular process is a design thinking? Or if you have to define a standard process, what could be that? It is a simply 5-step process. 5-step process, it doesn't mean that one step is to be followed the earlier one. There can be a switching in between these steps. Some of these steps can be repeated many times. So these are the 5 basic steps of the design thinking: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. All of you must be doing whenever you are going to do something. Even if when you are going to make the project, each and everything you will be doing with your hand only. Just you need to understand and you need to relate. Empathy means you need to understand the audience for whom you are going to design something, for whom you are going to develop something. Means you need to understand the audience. Understanding the audience can be done. It can be done. आप audience के बीच में हैं, you are just observing. You are just listening what they are saying, what is their requirement, or what they are facing, the problems in their daily life. That could be a challenge. Like you need to listen them also. Define. So once you are aware with your audience, once you are aware with your like users for which you have to do something, then you can define your problem. Define means you can construct your point of view. Point of view means pattern. Whether you are going to design for which particular audience, that is of means toddler age group, you need to find out the pattern, and their requirement is you need to do something which must have some vocab also. There must be some sound along with some video, means audio video provisions and all. It means pattern, insight, you need to define. So first you have to learn the audience, you need to define it, then ideate. When you are aware about your problem, do the brainstorming, find out one or many solutions. You will be able to understand I can do this work either in this way or in this way. So you need to list out as many possibilities as there. Means you have to generate, visualize, and explore. That is what the idea stage is. After the idea stage, there is a prototype. Prototype means once you have formulated your problem, you have ideated something, it could be done in this manner or in this manner, then you can develop the prototype. Prototype means building representation of your idea. And in the last is the testing. Once you have developed a prototype, that prototype, whether it is okay or not, or it should be modified, or whatever you have think that is going to be work or not, it may not be mandatory that whatever you have developed that is going to be work. कभी कभी हम बहुत सारी चीजें प्रोजेक्ट्स कुछ काम करते हैं वो नहीं भी काम करते. It means now you have to opt for the alternate way. It means you have to test, and once you have developed, that must be available for the audience, so that that could be tested, it could be find out अगर वो use कर रहे हैं तो उनके feedbacks क्या हैं, that can be given. So these are the 5 stages. Design thinking is a 5-stage process, you must remember. Now let me give you some real stories of the design thinking. First, this electric toothbrush. This is the example of the design thinking. How it is the example of the design thinking? What happened? There were the toothbrushes that were already available, but Braun and Oral-B, they have thought that they must develop something, कुछ ऐसा develop करना चाहिए जो कि थोड़ा automated हो. थोड़ा automated means initially they thought that there must be various features, उसमें music होना चाहिए, उसमें real time data capture कर सकते हो, उसकी performance बता सकते हो. So various features they have thought. But what happened when the idea was discussed with the design team? Designers were Kim and Sam. When this idea was discussed and their designers, they have discussed, they have explored about their audience. So designer ने क्या पाया कि what is the actually requirement? लोगों की requirement क्या है? Electric toothbrush हो, वो charge हो जाए, there must be a USB port. At the same time, brush का जो head है, that can be removed. अगर वो खराब हो जाए, so that can be replaced and orders उसकी quickly. It means एक वहाँ app होना चाहिए. So with these bare minimum requirements, this was developed and this is a very successful one. Another example, real life example of design thinking is Netflix. Do you know that the idea of Netflix, the founder who is Reed, he has initiated this idea in year 2001. 2001 में ये आइडिया उनके दिमाग में आया था, and at that time there was a huge usage of the DVD. DVD का मार्केट कोई नहीं चेंज कर सकता था, but इनका ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या था? His objective and the thought process was think big, start small, scale fast. बड़ा सोचो, छोटे से स्टार्ट करो और बहुत फास्ट रेट पर इसको स्केल करो. So what happened? He just explored the market जो DVD का कैप्चर हुआ था. Then what he thought about कि लोगों को DVDs लेने पड़ते हैं, रिप्लेस करते हैं, जब लेकर आते हैं उसका रेंटल होता है, तो कुछ ऐसा डिजाइन किया जाए which could be user friendly, which could be applicable or supplied to the users. Definitely उसका rental मिल सकता है. So you can think he has initiated the idea in year 2001 और कितना बाद में जाके he has launched the idea and what the features he has incorporated. AI recommended suggestions. आप देखते हो ना Netflix, आपको recommendations आने लगते हैं जो आप देख रहे होते हो उसके accordingly recommendation, user friendly app and all. And accordingly, just by exploring means what could be the requirement of the users and all, he has launched the site. So this is also one of the very successful example of the design thing. Uber, बहुत सारे लोग यूज करते होंगे. Other like services are also available, but from where the idea came into the mind, बहुत सारे लोगों के पास vehicles हैं जो यूज नहीं होते, बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो unemployed हैं, who can be like work somewhere so that they can generate some revenue. Along with that, what is being think that just to take those idle manpowers and the usage of the vehicles and all, how it is going to be served to the other person? Definitely it is going to be served for the other person. Means there must be some app so that others can raise their requirement can be fulfilled. There must be some features for the feedback and all. If somebody has booked something, means all the live locations, like data, everything can be received. So again, with all incorporation of this, the Uber, this means the services being launched, and again a successful one. One more example of the design thinking, Airbnb. The creators are Brian and Joe. Their story is also very interesting. What happened? Both of them were studying in a university in abroad, and in year 2005 approximately, when both of them has to stay over there, they have taken a rental accommodation. एक फ्लैट उन्होंने रेंट पे लिया और दोनों वहां रहने लगे. After a year, there was a conference in their university. So a number of visitors has to visit in the university campus, and every visitor, they must be requesting something for the accommodation. They must be asking for some locations from where they can get their breakfast and what are the points where they can roam around after the conference. So what happened? They have just thought about an idea, and इन लोगों ने बहुत सारे मैट्रेस रेंट पर लिए and they arranged in their own flat और उसको rent out किया. And just they have provided some few contacts so that the persons who are going to stay over there, they can order their breakfast and lunch. From there, they have initiated it, and after the completion of that conference, they have got so much of confidence. If we are capable to do for such a shorter level, definitely this idea can be expanded. And then they have designed their first website, which is known as Air Bed and Breakfast, airbedandbreakfast.com. Then they have included the various users who would like to give their homes or gain different values so that they can be utilized by the others. So what happened? They have created an interface in between the persons who would like to give their assets so that they can be utilized for the rentals and the others who would like to utilize it. They have made a very beautiful interface where 360-degree of feedback is being provided. All the advice, guidance, support can be provided. And you know that Airbnb is very famous and successful. So these are all nothing but कि ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि कोई बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी से कुछ जनरेट किया एंड दैट इज व्हाट द डिजाइन. नॉर्मल प्रोसेस को उसको थोड़ा सा मॉडिफाई करके which can be acceptable, which can be beneficial for others, that may fall into this category. So these are the real stories for the design. Now come to the next point. What is critical thinking? Again, the thinking word is being involved. Critical thinking is what? This concept of critical thinking, it comes in mid of 20th. And it is again very famous in between the researchers, between the thinkers and reformers, and almost means many of them have defined this particular term in their own way. But what does it mean? there is a problem. For that problem, there is a requirement to think. And if somebody is thinking for a problem, definitely some solution will be given by them. That is what the critical thinking. So what you can say that critical thinking, it is something about studying something, observing, analyzing all the facts and figures carefully so that someone can give a wise conclusion. ऐसा नहीं है कि पढ़ा और कुछ भी conclude कर दिया. That may not be acceptable. That is not the critical thinking. You have just analyzed. आपने 4 मोबाइल फोन्स लिए, आपने उनको कंपेयर किया, सब कुछ सारे फीचर्स करने के बाद you have just given your summary. That is what the critical thinking is. If that is being like acceptable, definitely there will be a feedback mechanism. So in a nutshell, it can be said that to think about all the aspects, all the factors via which a judgment, fair judgment can be given. There must not be any bias. Fair judgment must be given about any product, service which can be acceptable, which is going to be beneficial for the society. That is what the critical thinking is. There are many benefits of critical thinking. If we all are doing critical thinking, suppose you have to study some certain subject, you are not finding that particular subject is interesting. So in which manner you have to proceed? What is beneficial? Why you are studying that subject? Why it is, whether it is going to be beneficial when you are going to serve somewhere. So just exploring each and every aspect, concluded, that will gives you the strength. It means if a person is doing critical thinking, definitely there are various benefits. Means it always helps us for improving our decision making. We are thinking whether we have to buy this or not, whether we have to follow this or not. It means we are always exploring each and every facts and figures. Then only we are concluding. Means it helps in the decision making. It helps in the problem solving capability. Definitely. Refine our research skills, polish our creativity, and stimulates curiosity. If we don't have any curiosity, W factor, why, what, who means you are not going to. And definitely you are having. Why you are attending this workshop? Why it is beneficial for you? What to do after this? For whom it is going to be beneficial? For whom it is going to be designed? Whether we are like sitting here just by giving the instructions that you have to sit in the auditorium. So this W factor is very important, and definitely you must be putting several questions with your parents, with your friends and everything. Means you are curious. It means if all these like features have been combined, that will help us to give the fair judgment, and that is what the benefits of critical thinking. Means you have to think skillfully. Need not to think here and there. जैसे यहाँ वहां घूमे और कुछ भी सोच के कंक्लूड कर दिया. Skillfully think करना है, implement करना है, focus तरीके से. Means all intellectual values must be considered over there. So those are the benefits of the critical thinking. So what is critical thinking? It is a developed ability. You can develop it. I can develop it. Somebody would not is interested to develop, need not to be developed. It means this ability can be developed by someone, and that person will have the capability to analyze the information, and that person even can differentiate whether that information is valid or not. I'll be giving you some real life examples, real life stories. You'll be able to relate it more. So here you can see critical thinking skills. So there are 5 important factors. Somewhere you can find 6, 7, all the elaborated one, but 5 are the basic essential features: analyzing, reasoning, evaluating, problem solving, and decision. So these are the 5 steps, 5 critical thinking skills. Let me give you an example, real life example. Nowadays, you people have heard about the different kinds of diet. बहुत सारे डाइट्स के बारे में सुना है. वेगन डाइट है, कीटो डाइट है, कुछ लोग डाइटिशियंस को रेफर करते हैं. Suppose this is the like case study. And if we are talking about critical thinking, so how it is going to be, you can relate it with analyzing. Suppose someone among you who is willing to prefer to take some diet or something, must be thinking about the health issue or maybe healthier, but would like to make a healthy lifestyle. It means what? That person must be analyzing something कि मुझे एक डाइट फॉलो करना चाहिए. डाइट ना सिर्फ अपने को फिटनेस फ्रीक करने के लिए, एक अपना पैटर्न बनाने के लिए रूटीन होना चाहिए. क्या मुझे कुछ लोगों का कंसर्न हो सकता है कि मुझे वेट पुट ऑन करना है, कुछ का वेट रिड्यूस करना है, कुछ को लगता है मैं फिट हूँ जस्ट टू फॉलो. मीन्स फर्स्ट यू नीड टू एनालाइज किया अबाउट योरसेल्फ कि व्हाट यू आर थिंकिंग. Just you are talking about yourself. You are just listing out each and every factor. Then reason. Reason is app. I have told you the reason. You need to find out why I am going to adapt or why I am willing to take any particular diet or I need to refer to the dietitian. What are the factors behind? मैं बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ. अगर ये डाइट लूं तो कहीं इसके कुछ इन्वर्स इफेक्ट तो नहीं होंगे. It means you need to do a lots of reasoning. Why to take, why not to take, and you must be discussing with some peer group or you must be studying somewhere else also. Then you need to evaluate. Evaluation means out of the available one, you have to select one or may not be. You may not be selecting. You may be able to drop this particular idea. Suppose you think that I'm non-vegetarian, but if I follow the vegan diet, in vegan diet वहाँ तो non-veg include ही नहीं होता. So I must not be thinking about that. Means you need to evaluate each and everything. No, keto diet मुझे नहीं लगता इतने longer duration के लिए मैं इसको follow भी कर सकता हूँ. या और लोगों के जो reviews पढ़े कि किसी ने 6 months follow किया था, उनको कोई फायदा नहीं लगा, उन्होंने drop कर दिया, किसी ने बोला कि कुछ नहीं है, किसी ने बोला कि नहीं, for a longer time duration. It means you are evaluating each and every aspect and then you are pinpointing your problem. Means now I have to do this. Then you are talking about the problem solving. आपने finalize किया. Now which particular problem you are taking it? उस problem के लिए आप लेते हुए you are always taking the feedback कि कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है उस diet का या उस factor का आपके health issues पे, mental health पे, physical health पे, आपकी किसी और तरीके से कोई impact तो नहीं है. Means problem solving. And finally after reviewing everything, there are various reviews available. You may discuss with the doctors, other dietitians. Finally, you make a decision. That is what the critical thinking. So critical thinking can be applied for any problem solving skill. How to apply it? Definitely, there is a set process. First, you need to identify the problem, then analyze the problem. As I have given you the example of this diet, pick the best solution and implement the solution. You have find that none of the diet, I need not to go over there. Some may have adverse effect to someone, some may have adverse effect. I'm perfectly fine. I can do the yoga, I can do the morning walk, and I'll be the fit and fine. So it need not to necessary that you have to, the result must be in terms of certain, yes, result may not be you have analyzed something, you have analyzed a lot, and at the end you are saying that no, nothing is going to be beneficial for me. That may also be. So that is all the steps of the critical thinking. Once again, I'll be giving you some real life examples of the critical thinking. One, fake news. कभी कभी क्या होता है, आप लोगों के व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे मैसेजेस फॉरवर्ड होते हैं एंड हम जस्ट बिलीव कर लेते हैं. कभी तो क्या होता है, हमारे फ्रेंड ने भेजा, कभी किसी ने भेजा कि नहीं डेफिनेटली वो ठीक ही होगा, और उसके बाद हम आगे भी उसको फर्दर फॉरवर्ड करते रहते हैं. दैट इज व्हाट. कभी कभी आप सोचते हो, अगर आपने ऑब्जर्व किया हो, कभी ना कभी तो आपने से कुछ लोगों ने किया ही होगा कि आप उसको सोचने की कोशिश करते हो, पता लगाने की वेदर दैट इज ऑथेंटिक न्यूज और फेक न्यूज. राइट, दैट इज व्हाट द एग्जांपल ऑफ द critical thinking. As per the research and survey of the Stanford University, approximately 83% of the news or the messages or such information which have been shared among the teenagers, they are actually fake. जो हमें लगता है ना कि बहुत मोटिवेशन आ रहा है कि you can do this, you must circulate this. So approximately 83 as per the research. So fake news, how to authenticate? Definitely, if somebody must be thinking about What is the source? सोर्स ऑफ न्यूज कौन है, किसने वो क्रिएट की है, किसने स्प्रेड की है, वो न्यूज कितना ऑथेंटिक है, वो चैनल जिस पर दिखाई जा रही है, जिसने पब्लिश की है, किस टॉपिक पर है. दैट इज व्हाट ऑल द aspects of the critical thinking. If somebody is thinking in this manner and then that person is finalizing something or giving that their view, that is what the critical thinking. Career. बहुत सारे लोगों का एज ए यू पीपल वर इन 10th और 11th, आपके पास बहुत सारे ऑप्शन थे. कुछ लोगों को इंजीनियर बनना था, कुछ को मेडिसिन में जाना था, कुछ का एम था कि आर्म फोर्सेस में पायलट बनना है, कुछ है. राइट. तो क्या होता है, आपको कभी कभी तो होता है पेरेंट्स ने बोला ये कर लो तो वो कर लो. दैट इज नॉट द क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग. द क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग इज आपने सोचा मेरी स्ट्रेंथ क्या है. माई स्ट्रेंथ इज नॉट, आई एम नॉट कैपेबल टू डू द मेडिसिन, आई मस्ट नॉट गो ओवर देयर. लेकिन मेडिसिन में आपको क्यों नहीं जाना है, उसके लिए आपने बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स देखे ना, एनालाइज किए. आपको नहीं जाना है. बहुत सारे लोगों का सोचना ये हो सकता है एंट्रेंस बहुत टफ होता है, मेडिसिन की फीस रिलेटिवली ज्यादा है. नॉट ओनली जस्ट थिंक फ्रॉम द थिंकिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, they must have know about their background and all. Someone can say that medicine में सिर्फ MBBS करने से काम नहीं चलेगा, स्पेशलाइजेशन करना पड़ेगा, सुपर स्पेशलाइजेशन करना पड़ेगा, लगता है 10 साल पढ़ना पड़ेगा, बहुत लंबा है, नीड नॉट टू गो. It means just for the sake of the career also, if you are exploring the field by pros and cons, and then you are finalizing that these are my strengths, I'll be doing good in this particular field. That is what the critical thing. Health. Again, I've given you a detailed example about the health. कि मुझे जंक फूड प्रेफर करना है ओवर दी हेल्दी फूड और नॉट, मील स्किप करने हैं घूमते हुए या नहीं करने हैं. राइट. सारी चीजें अगर आप लॉन्गर टर्म में सोचते हो कि वेदर दैट इज गोइंग टू इम्पैक्ट योर हेल्थ और नॉट, दैट इज व्हाट द क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग. आज का आज सोचा, जंक फूड खाते हैं, कल का देखा जाएगा, वो क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग नहीं है. बिजनेस. दिस इज ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एग्जाम्पल. सपोज समवन इज विलिंग टू स्टार्ट समथिंग. किसी को एक स्टार्टअप स्टार्ट करना है, बहुत सारे आइडियाज है दिमाग में, स्ट्रेंथ भी है, बैकअप भी है, टेक्निकल स्ट्रेंथ भी अच्छी है, थोड़ा बहुत पैसा भी हम लगा सकते हैं. बट इन विच पर्टिकुलर सेक्टर, पहले तो सेक्टर आइडेंटिफाई करना है. विच सेक्टर इज टू बी आइडेंटिफाइड. तो इन द बिजनेस की कौन सा सेक्टर ग्रोइंग है. अगर किसी सेक्टर में आपने ऐसे ही कुछ डेवलप कर दिया या बिजनेस सेटअप कर दिया जिसमें ऑलरेडी सैचुरेशन है, it means that is not going to scale up, revenue नहीं मिलेगी. So just exploring each and everything, क्या available है, what are the shortcomings, इसमें आप क्या add कर सकते हो so that the things can be beneficial. So this is also a real life example of the critical thinking. स्टार्टअप के बारे में आप लोग बहुत बात करते हो, स्टार्टअप करना है, कंपनी स्टैब्लिश करनी है, बट स्टार्टअप इन विच फील्ड. डेफिनेटली जब आप सोचोगे उसके लिए, यू विल थिंक अबाउट दिस. That would be the critical thinking. सारे pros and cons लिख के आप काम करोगे. That is the critical thinking. Coming to the next, we know about the design thinking, critical thinking, but when we are saying innovation, क्या innovation कुछ ऐसा है कि कुछ अजीब सा ही बना दिया है, या कुछ ऐसा बिल्कुल डेवलप कर दिया जो आज तक किसी ने नहीं देखा हुआ है? क्या innovation ये है? No. Innovation can be defined in a very simpler manner in two things. Either you are developing something new which is not available, or you are improving something which is already available. So both of them can fall into the category of the innovation. So any person can be an innovator if that person is having three basic skills, three basic characteristics: desirability, feasibility, and viability. Means I am willing to do something, I am capable to do something, and I can develop something which is going to create some business sense. This intersection of these three is nothing but the innovation. Means I wanted something, I have the capability, and I have created something. That is what the innovation. So it is a process by which any products, services, or like any kind of new values can be brought into the consideration, or the existing can be improved. So improving existing, that also falls into the category of innovation. When we are saying innovation, बहुत सारी चीजें आपने सुनी है, आप पढ़ते भी हो कि इसने ये इनोवेट कर दिया, इसने ये इनोवेट कर दिया, सब आपको पता है. बट क्या आपको पता है कि how many kinds of innovations are there? Types of innovation. There are basically 4 types. These 4 types have been categorized on the basis of the impact on the market along with the technology wellness. Incremental, first, bottom left one. Incremental innovation. What is this incremental innovation? आपको एक नोकिया फोन का एग्जांपल दिया था ना मैंने कि नोकिया के कितनी सीरीज आई, एक के बाद एक, सब में थोड़ा थोड़ा सा इंप्रूवमेंट था. तो इंक्रीमेंटल मींस gradual or continuous improvement in the existing one. That is what the incremental. अभी भी जो आपके मोबाइल फोन्स हैं उसमें कैमरास के जो वर्जन्स हैं, that again may fall into this particular category. Right? Cars हैं जिसमें incremental, so they came into this incremental innovation. Next is sustaining. Sustaining means significant improvement. Significant improvement, कोई चीज ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल थी, कुछ ऐसा डेवलप किया जिसने मार्केट में जो नया डेवलप किया हुआ था उसकी एक अपनी स्टैंडिंग बना. द एग्जांपल इज जब मोबाइल फोन आए जिसमें कैमरास था, या कीपैड के रिप्लेसमेंट में जब स्मार्टफोन आए, तो स्मार्टफोन्स जब आए, दैट वाज द that comes into the category of the sustaining innovation. लोगों ने उसको प्रेफर किया, उसके रेस्पॉन्सेस से लगा it can sustain for a longer time. There is a huge demand in the market. That is the sustaining, significant improvement. Third is the radical. Bottom right hand side. Radical means technological breakthrough. ऐसा क्या हुआ मार्केट में जिसने कि ऐसा ब्रेक थ्रू कर दिया जिससे कि लगा कि अरे ये तो इनोवेशन ही हो गया. कैन यू थिंक अबाउट इट? ऑप्टिकल फाइबर जब आया, दैट इज व्हाट न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी. बिजनेस मॉडल ही पूरा चेंज कर दिया. या गूगल एआई बेस्ड सर्विसेज. सो रेडिकल इज टेक्नोलॉजिकल ब्रेक थ्रू जिसने कि ट्रांसफॉर्म कर दिया इंडस्ट्रीज को और एक नया मार्केट क्रिएट कर दिया. So that was with the induction of the optical fiber. And the last is the disruptive innovation. Disruptive means technology or new business model that disrupt the existing market. Existing market को पूरी तरीके से हिला दिया. ओह, नैनो ने किया था, नेटफ्लिक्स ने. So these are the types of the disruptive innovation. So my point is that in this particular session, you must be aware about the background, about the basics. So I hope now the types of innovation and what is the innovation, you cannot say that कि नोकिया के जो फोन में improved version एक के बाद एक आ रहे थे, they cannot fall into the category of innovation. Yes, modifying something into the existing one, that is also innovation. Now, we have talked about a lot about innovation, different types of innovation. But what is innovation really? What is this innovation? Innovation means we are doing something, we are doing some job. Why we are doing that particular job? Because that job is to be done so that somebody's requirement can be fulfilled. Either we can create new or better one. So as I told you, the examples of the various mobile phones or the various, like you can see the versions of the cameras and cars, various solutions, one after other, improved solutions. And finally, when you are getting a solution which actually satisfies the customers, meet the customer requirement, that is what the job to be done. So when we reach at that particular stage, that is what the actual innovation. There are certain myths versus reality. I'll be telling you what is the reality. Innovation begins with creativity. डेफिनेटली अगर आप मोनोटोनस तरीके से ही चीजें सोचते हो कि नहीं ये काम ऐसे ही होगा जैसे कि 10 साल पहले हो रहा था, तो यू कैन नॉट डू द इनोवेशन। मींस क्रिएटिविटी मस्ट बी इन्वॉल्व। इनोवेशन इज अ स्मूथ लीनियर प्रोसेस। कोई चमत्कार नहीं हो सकता एकदम से। यू हैव डूइंग समथिंग, यू हैव स्टार्टेड डूइंग समथिंग, यू मे बी getting a result, you may not be getting a result, you must have taken the another idea, then you are implementing it slowly and gradually. So it is a smooth process and it is always taking about the risk. Obviously we have thought something that may not be like worthy, or we may not be able to develop that particular thing. It means we are taking the risk, so that may be beneficial or not, or we may be capable to generate or develop something or not. So it is about the risk taking. It begins with curiosity. Until unless you don't have curiosity, that W factor, innovation cannot be. You must ask you with yourself, with your peer group, with the other user, other audience, other customers, with your elders, with your parents, other like relatives about that. Whatever you are having in your mind, just to make a judgment whether you are on a right track or not. It is iterative and outcome of a series of experiments. Obviously, फर्स्ट टाइम यू हैव डेवलप्ड समथिंग, आपने उसको टेस्ट किया, कुछ फीडबैक्स मिले जिनके लिए बनाया था, उसको इनकॉर्पोरेट किया। आप एप्स बनाते हो ना आजकल, बहुत जल्दी बना देते हो। आपको पता होगा, जैसे पता लगेगा कि हैकाथन हो रही है, क्या क्या करना है, तो सबसे पहले हम लोग ऐप डेवलपमेंट में बहुत फास्ट होते हैं, फटाफट बना देते हैं। आपने एक बनाया, उसके बाद लोगों को दिया टेस्ट करने के लिए, उनके कुछ फीडबैक्स आए, इनकॉर्पोरेट किया, फिर उसको इनकॉर्पोरेट करते गए। दैट इज व्हाट द इटरेटिव प्रोसेस इज। Effective innovation is what which involves risk-taking capacity, assessment, and mitigation. Means you need to combine all the things, and then only you are going to get something. That is what the innovation. So innovation you can develop something by inculcating design thinking. That was what the innovation process. So you can summarize it like in 4 Ds. 4 Ds: discover, define, develop, and deliver. First, discover it among the like users, then define that particular thing. After defining, develop, and when it is developed, it is ready. Now it's time to deliver it. So what and why, how means initially number of questions, why it is to be done, understanding people's experience, identifying their problem, and finally you can develop and you can deliver. Means ideate, prototype, and at the last step. So this is how design thinking can be incorporated into the innovation, and it will come into the innovation project category, depending upon which kind of innovation project it is. So this is all from my end. If you would like to ask something, you can ask me right now. Even if later stage of the time you may find that you would like to discuss something, or if you have any idea or something, so for that particular query you can write me an email. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for a very informative, interactive session. Really, it was very beneficial for all of us. We have achieved a great learning today. Now, I request to Dr. Nidhi Tyagi, ma'am, to facilitate our speaker by row. Thank you, ma'am. Now I request to Dr. Tarun Kumar Singh.
Please definitely the next time और बाकी हम लोग भी तो इन्हीं के स्टेट से निकले हैं तो we all understand whatever they are doing they can achieve. So it's okay even if they are able to take 20% of the decision. Thank you all.
I will request to Dr. Avinash Pathak to vote of thanks.
I would like to present this vote of thanks to Dr. Sapna ji, a really informative session. And all the students must have learned what is design thinking, what is critical thinking, how you can apply these facts and figures in your real life. And I hope that from now onwards, we'll be more critically inclined towards our daily routine activities. Thank you so much, ma'am, for a wonderful knowledge and wisdom you shared with us. In the sequence, I would like to thank Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellors, respected Dean, sir, Dr. Tarun Sharma, and all the respected faculties present here who spared their valuable time amongst us and joined us for the session. Thank you so much.
All the faculty members can come on the stage and the students also join for the group photograph. Yes. Students come over towards the stage also. Blue and green, white. Acho, acho.